Hey guys, Magnus Robert here, bringing you another video. So today, I'm doing another event idea. This is a mini update, and this is the one you voted for, which of course was a political event. Now, what this update basically is I'm titling it Bob for Governor. So basically, this is an update I think should probably fall within 4th of July. I think it'd be a good 4th of July update. But also, just a great political update. Some political updates haven't been great. The book stops here was like, it was okay. It wasn't too bad, but it did give us some good. It did give us some good characters, if you know what I mean. Like Birch Barlow is pretty cool. I think it gave us Mary Bailey, right? Which is pretty cool to get. So this is Bob for Governor. This event is basically about Bob trying to become the new governor of the state that Springfield is a part of. So let's get into it. So Mary Bailey is sitting out the next term to allow for fresher talent and also so she can finally get a sunny holiday or vacation. She announces an election for her replacement. Homer doesn't want to vote, but Marge says it's their duty. So you make Homer and Marge check out the candidates, and this will unlock the update. The currency is going to be Vote for Bob badges. This will be the event currency. And there are no tappables. I couldn't be bothered, so here we have. There's going to be a super premium item, and that super premium item will be Uncle Sam. So you get Uncle Sam. He's going to cost $8.99 or £8.99. And yeah, that's pretty much it, really. Ties into the update a little bit. He's in the Questline, and 2 as well. He kind of ties into the whole political stuff as well. So I figured, why not chuck him in the super premium store? So we've got the Republican convention with the Republican vampire for 150 donuts. So I know a lot of people really want this guy. Now, yes, this probably is Dracula, like a proto version of Dracula. However, he does look very different to Dracula. He's got green, the tusks, the ears. I think it's probably because copyright, they tend to be in the early days anyway. They were very careful to really stretch away from copyright. So I think they wanted Dracula as a part of the Republican Party, but they needed a version of Dracula that was way beyond any other depiction of that character, because they were very careful not to get sued, even though parody law and all that. Still, there's been cases where it's just been settled in court because they haven't, they don't want to bother going to court. But copyright law is good, is tricky. But obviously, the parody clause, I think South Park's partially to blame or to credit for the fact that parody law tends to be very, very loose nowadays, because they had a few big cases where they won without a doubt, and their parody is it's obvious what it is, So although this is a prototype of Dracula, I figured why not add him as a separate character. He acts very differently to Dracula, so you could argue it is a separate character, and just call him the Republican Vampire. I think that would be cool. And then you're getting the Republican Convention Center here, which I think is a really cool building, You get this big cool sign, and then this big dome-like structure. I definitely think that looks cool as shit. So, yeah, why not? So, for $150, you get these 2 characters. One character in the building. So, here's the quest line. Homer and Marge attend the election convention at the town hall to hear the candidates. They are Quimby and Moleman, running for the Democrats, Wolfcastle, the Republican vampire, running for the Republicans. Lisa listens to the candidates, but none of them are addressing the terrible pollution the state faces. Homer and the town are not too invested in the candidates either, when suddenly a TV is wheeled in, and there is a new Republican candidate. Sideshow Bob. Sideshow Bob introduces fancy infrastructure, benefits for the old, and lots of amazing promises. The town get behind him, and he brings up that he does need to be pardoned to be able to legitly run. So make Springfielders write to the president to pardon Bob ×3. Make Homer rally behind Bob. Make Marge ask questions. Make Lisa protest pollution. Make Quimby, Moleman, Wolfcastle, and the Republican vampire speak to voters. And make Bob demand his pardon if you own him. Again, this is all subject to if you own these characters. If you don't, you just only do one. And then make Springfielders earn Vote for Bob badges, and this will unlock Alcatraz Springfield. So this is a iffy one, because Bob is released from this prison And this is definitely not Springfield Penitentiary because it's on an island. But there is another island prison. I think it's called like Chunky Soup Island Prison or something like that. I forget the exact name. But they both look very different. So I figure why not just add this one and call it Alcatraz Springfield. You know, it's on an island, Alcatraz, it's a prison, Alcatraz, but it's in Springfield, Springfield Alcatraz, or Alcatraz Springfield. I don't know, that way we get like a really cool, unique building, and we get another prison. I know we do have a lot of prisons in the game, but, you know, it's cool to get another one. And this one's a bit different because it's on an island. It will be a bit similar to the Ronald Reagan Re-Education Center, but they could make it unique. You know, if it's like really like high risen on this rock, I think that would make it stand out for sure. The president does not pardon Bob, but Uncle Sam does say he has a true American spirit. Uncle Sam reveals that he is a real person, and in the Constitution, there is a secret clause that was put in by the put in by the Stonecutters that he can pardon people. Bob is out and continues his campaign, and it's looking like he's going to win. The votes commence in the old Springfield Library, where Homer votes for Bob, he likes his plans. Marge takes issues with the things Quimby, Wolfcastle, Mole Man, and the Vampire have posted on social media, so she's forced to vote for Bob. Mary Bailey reveals the winner is Bob, so you make Mary Bailey count the votes, make the Republican Vampire, Wolfcastle, Quimby, Mole Man accept defeat. Make Lisa be disappointed, make Bob become the new governor, and make Springfielders earn vote for Bob badges, and this will unlock the old Springfield Library. I know it's a very loose way to tie it in. Obviously in the episode, I think Bart and Lisa go there to discover that Bob has used like the votes of the dead and all that. Now this is different to the library we have in the game because that is the Springfield Library. This is the old Springfield Library. Slightly different, very similar looking buildings, sure, but they are technically meant to be different buildings. I mean, they are named differently for their reason. This is meant to be the old library. So I figured why not just throw this in as a separate building. You know, just make it like a big grey blocky building. Be cool to get another library. Bob makes the Republican Vampire his lieutenant governor and starts his plans. Bob allows Bart and Lisa to work at his office for work experience, and he begins his plans. First of all, building that infrastructure he promised. So you make Bob build roads, place 10 roads in the game. Make Lisa and Bart intern at Bob's office. That will probably be the town hall. Make the Republican Vampire give a speech. Make Homer and Marge enjoy driving on the new roads, and make Springfielders earn vote for Bob badges, and this will unlock the Matlock Expressway. So here's the Matlock Expressway. So obviously it's not complete, and I think probably the best thing for it is to just have like a big road on these pillars, you know, this expressway on these pillars, and then have it kind of like slope down at this end, have it just sort of slope down, so that way you can actually connect your roads on it. Probably the best thing is you'll have to connect like 2, maybe 4 rows of roads to like really make it look like, you know, really make it pop off. But then also at the end, just have it so it's incomplete, and maybe have like a crane or something, or like a bulldozer at the end of the road, so it looks like it's under construction. I think that way you have like a pretty cool building, pretty cool decoration, and but it doesn't stand out too because you can kind of like connect it to your town, connect it to your road, so it looks like it's just an expressway under construction. And this is the early decoration of the prize track as well, so it'd be cool to make it like a really big and unique and awesome decoration. Bob's approval ratings are through the roof, but Lisa and Bart hear Bob talk to the Republican Vampire about how they're planning to destroy Springfield for a mega expressway. That way, Bob kills all of his enemies, the Simpsons, Krusty, the mayor, even that annoying kid Milhouse. Bart and Lisa bring the information to an undercover journalist, which turns out just to be Smithers and Burns. They're mad because Bob is going to use his plant to destroy the town, and Mr. Burns promises to be the good guy this once, alright? Just this once. So you make Burns and Smithers try to put a stop to Bob, make Lisa and Bart get more evidence, make Homer and Marge support Bob, make Bob and the Republican Vampire plan to destroy Springfield, make Springfielders earn vote for Bob badges, and this will unlock the pay and park and park. I know I had this in like the KVBL event, but it's from this episode where they kind of meet with Smithers, so I don't know. I think it's a cool enough building. I definitely really would like this. It'd just be cool to have like a proper car park in the game. I know we do have the valet car parking in the Heights, but I really hate that building. It's just stupid. It's like stupid and ridiculous. This is just a normal sort of multi-story car park. You know, I like it a lot, so it'd be cool to get. And Miss Burns and Smithers bring the evidence to Quimby and Wiggum, but they've already been paid off and they're going on a fancy vacation. Bart and Lisa beg Burns to do something, but he instead makes a deal with Bob to be paid off for the plant being destroyed. They try Homer and Marge for help, but that doesn't work. So they try Grandpa, who says, he tells them about an old clause that he and his buddies were involved in. They were him in his old stonecutter days, maybe. And he says, Uncle Sam can kick anyone he wants out of the country. They tell Uncle Sam about what Burns is planning, and he decides to kick Bob out. And the vampire out of the country. So now, and obviously he does that, so Bob and the vampire kicked out of the country. There you go. So now a new election must be had, and there is a mystery candidate. So you make Homer and Marge vote for the mystery, make Springfielders vote ×3, make Quimby run again, make Bob and the vampire be kicked out of the country, make Burns, Smithers, Wiggum and Quimby go on a fancy vacation, and make Lisa and Bart laugh at Bob, make Grandpa catch up with Uncle Sam, and make Springfielders vote for Bob badges, and this will unlock Horace Wilcox. So, yeah, I know I made it like a big mystery. I mean, it's not that big. Obviously, this guy was the governor before Mary Bailey, or presumably was at least, unless they have like two governors, maybe. I think he's the governor, not the senator, anyway. Who knows? But, yeah, he's kind of like just a guy in charge. And, of course, he has a heart attack in the episode and dies, but he's back from the dead, goddammit. So, Horace Wilcox, now back from the dead, settles into the governor position. His first act is to allow 2 refugees into the town, Bob and the vampire. But Lisa is right there with the evidence, so you make Lisa give Bob his comeuppance and make Horace put Bob and the Republican vampire in prison. And that will be the end of the event. So, yeah, I quite like the quest line. I think it's a cool quest line. You're getting 2 pretty biggish characters, 3 biggish characters, I get. Well, not Uncle Sam, and he's not a biggish character. And Horace isn't really a biggest character. I say biggest character. Biggest character in terms of, like, what they have left to add, okay? Yeah, I don't know. I like it. So let's look at some tasks and animations. So for Uncle Sam, we have recruit for the country for 60 minutes. This will be him, pretty much like a little standee will spawn, and he'll be there with, like, pamphlets, essentially like army, like, we want you pamphlets, handing them out. And, yeah, pretty much it, really. Just kind of, like, speaking his mind. Pardon people for 4 hours, that will be at the town hall. Kick people out of the country, literally, for 8 hours. Again, that'll probably be the town hall. Put up American flags for 12 hours, so this will be him. He'll just be walking around town. He'll just, like, whip out an American flag, and, it'll be like one of those things that kind of, like, one of those poles that collapses into each other, and he'll be pulling it out, making the flag bigger, and then he'll just be planting the flag on the road, and then he'll walk past it, and then do another one, plant another flag, and then by the third one, the one that he did three things ago will probably just disappear, and it will just be reappeared, basically. Just him going around the town, just putting down flags. I think that could be kind of cool. And then try run for president for 24 hours, probably would have to be the town hall. For the Republican vampire, we have get drunk off blood for 60 minutes. This will be him. He'll have a little wine glass like Smithers gives him here, and he'll be going around the town completely, drunk off his ass, sort of pouring the blood on him, kind of pouring it to the floor, stumbling around the town, drinking it, etc., etc. A bit like Lisa in the episode with the Burns, the Treehouse of Horror segment with the Burns vampire, how she kind of is like drunk off that blood. It'd be similar to that. Bite Democrats for 4 hours. So I feel like with this character, his instead of being like a normal vampire, his power is if he bites people, they become Republican. I think that could be like a really cool angle to his quest line. So he's like, we need more votes in the Republican Party, and he goes around like biting people. I think that could be kind of cool. Attend a Republican Party meeting for 8 hours. If you own it, this will be at the Republican Party HQ. Actually, By Democrats, I guess, would have to be town hall. But attend a Republican Party meeting. I think this could either be at the convention center he comes with or the Republican Party HQ, depending on which one he's closest to when you send him to do the task. I don't know. But then I kind of want a task in his building, so maybe it might be best just to say that one. reveal his destructive plan for 12 hours. This will be an animation. He'll be on top, or I guess we already have one for this, but he'll be on top of this dome, and he'll have like a bunch of bombs strapped to him. Maybe he'll just have there'll be like a pile of TNT or something, and a pile of TNT, and he's there in the middle, and he's showing his fangs, his cape's kind of flapping out, and he's like screaming at the top of his lungs about how he's gonna blow up the town, or etc. etc. And then serve time for 24 hours. That will be at the penitentiary. For Horace Wilcox, we have filibuster till he passes out. So this will be him. He'll be at like a little stand, a bit like the mayor. This probably has to be on outside, just in the street, really. But he'll be there in the street, just filibustering. He'll be there, kind of waving his fist around, talking, like screaming, and then he's about to pass out, and maybe he grabs onto grabs onto his little standee or his little podium. He grabs onto his podium and kind of like gets back his footing, and then continues his filibustering. And then deny poor health allegations for 4 hours. I don't know. We may as well go on the whole Biden has dementia thingy-majingy, that whole meme, and we can kind of parody that whole issue, if you want to call it an issue, with Horace Wilcox. So that he'll be there in the town hall. Basically, that'll be the town hall. Run the state for 8 hours. I guess this actually could be the Capitol building if you're in it. Wait, no, Capitol is the Capitol. Oh, I'm not too familiar with American politics. I am, but I forget. Is Capitol for senators? No, the Senate's for senators. So the Capitol's for governors, right? Or is it for Congress people? Or is that Congress? Is that a separate building? I don't even know. Yeah, it's Congress. Yeah, Capitol's separate because that's Oh, whatever. He'll be at the Capitol. Who gives a shit? Run the state for 8 hours. That'll be the Capitol. Die again for 12 hours. So this will be him. Pretty much just dying. He'll have a heart attack, he'll fall over, he'll die, and then his ghost, which is seen in the Flanders Ladder episode, that will emerge from his body, and then it will be like shocked, scary, and then the ghost will eventually go back into the body. Horace will get up, and the animation will repeat. That way, we get his ghost from the Flanders Ladder episode, but we also, keep the actual character. So that way, we get to see the ghost. I think that could be like a really interesting animation. And then lobby for more state funding for 24 hours. That will be probably Town Hall or Capitol Building. Who cares? If you own it, the Capitol building. So, yeah, that is my Bob for Governor event. I hope you have enjoyed. It's a cool way of getting Bob involved in a questline again, because it's always cool to see Bob as, like, the focus point. But you also get, cool building here, and, a character that a lot of people seem to want, at least weirdly. You get Horace Wilcox, who I think is a big-ish character. He's one of those big deaths. He only really makes, one, solid appearance, but, I still think he's worthwhile adding. And, you get a lot of cool buildings. This one's would be really cool. The old Springfield Libraries would be awesome. This one I would actually adore so much. This would be, if they added this, I generally think it might be, one of my favourite buildings of the year. Because, this is what I dream of getting. This is just awesome. I think this should be on my top 10 buildings, to be honest. And the Matlock Expressway, I definitely think could be designed to be, a really cool decoration. So, I'm pretty happy enough with this event. I think there's something here for sure. So let me know your thoughts. I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching as always. Goodbye.